everyone, welcome to the Brains Behind Beauty podcast. We thought we would put together a podcast today just because we've had a lot of training that's going on recently. We've been putting a lot of stuff out on our social media asking, there's been frequently asked questions, we've been doing Q&As, we've been asking everybody what they want to hear. We are just about to go out and do our college tour, so we're going to be going around the UK talking about the training courses, talking about different career paths, speaking to the next and new generation of practitioners, therapists and skin specialists. So the best person to get onto the podcast today, of course, would be Anna Louise. So I thought that I'd be interviewing Anna Louise today just to go over the training courses and cover everything that you may want to hear. We're going to be talking about the sort of courses that we do offer, how it will benefit people's career paths, how our qualifications differ from other qualifications and certifications, how our training days work out from the first port of call of contacting us all the way through to exam days and being signed off. So there's a lot of useful information that you'll probably hear today, not only for training courses, but just the industry in general. So first, I would like to introduce you to Anna Louise. Anna Louise owns the Skin Philosophy Training Academy. So tell us a bit more about yourself.
Hi. So basically we have the training locations. We've 8 of them now, training centres across the UK and Ireland. And we have a lot of the students that are they're really interested in getting this industry, but they're making the next step, of how to do or what to do is difficult, and especially if they're thinking about self-employed, opening their own business. Jessica thought she'd quiz me down on how it works basically with us.
Yeah, amazing. So the first thing, just to clarify what we are all about, is what do we do? What are the courses that we offer, and how will this benefit new therapists?
So we do have quite a lot of courses, but our main thing is it's either you're upgrading your knowledge or you're changing your career. So you're an accountant and that's sick of the 9 to 5, sitting in front of the computer, and we help you have a path to go into doing laser hair removal, or to open up a clinic, or to do skin treatments, or to even become a facialist. So there's a lot of different paths, but it mainly divides into either you're changing career, starting into the industry, or you're upgrading your qualifications to have more knowledge. We've quite a lot: level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, all accredited government qualifications, VT, CT, CIPTAC, both of them, and they're all recognised internationally, and they're the type of qualifications you need if you do want to open up your own clinic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the main courses that we really do is skin courses, facial electrics, laser, advanced skin courses, knowledge-based, microneedling, skin peeling, laser, radio frequency, microneedling. So we do a lot of stuff, but we also have been in business before, we've owned clinics before, obviously we've got the training academy, so there's a lot of overall knowledge to do with the industry and business, and helping to direct people on specific equipment and brands and everything that we can very much direct you and give us our knowledge on doing that as well. So another thing is that what we find now with the industry is that the industry is becoming a lot more specialised now. It's kind of gone slightly of the days of people doing a bit of everything, so doing their facial treatments, waxing treatments, nail treatments, all in kind of one area. Everyone's becoming very much more specialist, that if you're going to get your nails done, you go to a nail technician. If you want skin treatments done, you go to a skin specialist. If you want a massage done, you go to a massage therapist. So we do find that the industry now is becoming more specialised. Also, as well as that, our customers are also becoming slightly more educated, which means that they're wanting people who they are going to really know their knowledge and obviously provide the correct treatments and services. So that's basically what we do. So just tell us a little bit about the training. So say if people did book on with us, how do people contact us? What's the setup? How do they get onto the training? Okay,
so what we want to do is to give you access to the materials from home. So first of all, your first port of call is you get booked on, we take your details, we register you with the governing body for whatever qualification that you're choosing to go with. Then we give you access to our online material. This is to teach you all the theory part of it. So the science behind skin, the science behind doing treatments, the best different types of treatments, anatomy and physiology, everything like that. So you sit down at home, you open up your coursework, you watch some videos, you watch some presentations, some PowerPoints, and then you complete your assignments. Once your assignments are all completed all together, then you email one of the teachers to then get it marked. Once it's marked, then we'll book you onto practical training and your theory exam. So the important thing is we find is having the students have all the knowledge base first, and then they can put that into use during the practical rather than trying to learn it all together. So it's really important that when you're doing your assignments that you're learning it, you're absorbing the information. So then we book you in for your theory exam. There's nearly a theory exam with every single qualification. It's multiple choice. You come into the centre, your nearest centre, and you do your theory exam, and then you go home and that's all your theory-based qualification done. Then you go on to your practical day. So your practical day will consist of a few days in a row where you'll come in and you'll practice on each other and then on clients. We'll help you, guide you through each step, and you'll keep going until you're confident. If you're not confident after a number of days, then you come back and do more. There's like the course days, it's as many as you want or need. That's not a problem. Even when you're finished, if you want a refresher to come back, we always welcome you. And then you get booked onto your practical exam day. So practical exam day can tend to be a little bit tense, but it really is demonstrating your skills, because we wouldn't suggest or allow you to go on to your last assessment day or your last assessments without having that confidence or ability, because there's no point. So that last day then the examiner will come in, you'll have an IQA, sometimes an EQA as well, external verifier, and also your teacher or assessor with you at the time, and they will sit down and watch you do a treatment, and you'll do that one treatment, and then you will be completed with your qualification as long as everything goes well.
Yeah, so it is pretty straightforward. As much as it sounds like a lot of information, it is literally you enroll onto the course, you get all your coursework, you have your tutors who are there when you're doing your coursework so that we can help you answer any questions, talk you through everything. You do your coursework, we mark it, you come in for theory exams, practical days, exams, and then that's it. And the good thing about these, the training, is that it's not like what Anna Louise just said, it's not like you have your 3 days and you need to know everything in those 3 days. Our job is to make sure that you're competent, and the reason why we have the practical exam days is because it is our job to make sure that we think that you're ready and you feel like that you're ready to do that, to go off into the industry. And that's another thing that backs our training up, is that it's not like you do practical and then you can go off and do it. You do it when you feel like you're ready, and you do it when we feel like that you're ready as well. So it's more of there for your security, not actually to be scared of. If we think that you're ready for an exam, it's actually good because it means that you're ready. So that's basically how the course is set out. Obviously, we do have all the support groups and stuff. We have like the Facebook groups, and we have like our Instagram pages. We try and stay we keep on top of that. There's a lot of us. There's a team which is delegated to do certain jobs so that we make sure that we can answer all of your questions and send you to the right person. So we try and keep it as organised as we can. So talk to us about like the qualifications. So how our qualification differs to different certifications and qualifications that are out there.
Okay, so you have to, if you're going for a qualification means it's recognised by Ofqual. Ofqual is a governing body that government regulation, and any governing body like VTCT, ITEC, CIPTAC, they have to follow what Ofqual say. So basically anything other than an Ofqual qualification isn't a proper qualification. It's an endorsement, it's a stamp of approval, but it isn't actual qualification. So you need to look at that when you're doing your first one. Now, the reason why we have VTCT, ITEC, CIPTAC is VTCT, ITEC, it's all now one governing body, VTCT, ITEC. is very skills based, so it's great for qualifications in like facials and that, because it is all about, you know, you're learning through practical and continuous assessment. So we love that for the flexibility of the learning for the skill based qualifications. The CIPTAC is amazing because it's a really world renowned qualification. And also, if you're going for a CIPTAC qualification, your teacher has to have minimum 2 years experience in this treatment. So it means that you're not getting some teacher that has just basically been qualified and never actually worked in a clinic, never had client experience, never had a business. You're getting actually really qualified and experienced tutors, and that is definitely with us, that what we try to keep with it. CIPTAC is an amazing qualification, very knowledge based, full of theory. So you have two different sides to it. VTCT is more the practical skills. You know, if you find you're more of a learner through practical sides, VTCT suits that. CIPTAC is more your knowledge base. You still have the practical skills to it as well, but you're getting a lot of knowledge plus as well. You're having a bit more world renowned qualification with it. So yeah, we have those. Anything that we deliver, we will make sure that it's a good recognized qualification that you can go somewhere and you will be employed, or you know, you will definitely be insured with.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of the qualifications that we offer, also a lot of kind of like colleges and everything all offer these some of these qualifications as well, which means that it is almost kind of like a great add-on as a development of education. So obviously some people potentially obviously go off and do I suppose going into other forms of education from college, and we were almost kind of like, as much as people can join us right at the beginning of their journey, we're also like that next step if people already have kind of the beginner, like level 2s, level 3s, and then something to develop onto. So the knowledge that you get with these courses is just amazing. Obviously we do all the anatomy and the physiology and stuff, so it's crazy what you can actually get and what you can go on to from the knowledge and the qualifications that we can give. So that kind of leads on to the next question of a general overview. So another question that we get asked a lot of is kind of, what can you also do from here? So we'll go a bit more, obviously you can open a business, so we'll go into the business side a bit more in a minute. But what other stuff can people do, like in terms of like traveling or working places? What sort of clinics, like where can they go?
So when I've done my qualification, I worked in 6 different countries. I worked on cruise ships. So all of that meant that I got to see the world. So that is something you can do with it. You can go into you know, a clinic and work your way up. You can go into have your own self-employed, like we were saying about the business, so there's many other ways to do it. But there's really so much. So say for example, if you like social media and you like the skin industry, you can do marketing within the skin industry. It doesn't have to be, okay, I'm only doing this. There's so many different avenues. You can do product development, your own skincare. You can do, you know, there's so many different things with it that you can get employed with. Getting a good job first is your priority, because that gives you the experience and you can see how other businesses work. Just because you can do the treatment doesn't mean you will understand how a business works or this business tends to work. So I would suggest getting experience first before you go into your own business.
Yeah, definitely. And we do have people sometimes talk to us about kind of like the money side of it. And at the end of the day, just like with any job, the sort of income that you get from this industry varies just as much as any other job does. So obviously it can depend on where you are at in the industry, what clinic that you're working at or what location you're working in, the job role that you're doing with it, the responsibilities that you take on, how much hard work that you're willing to put in, whether you're going down the business route and things. The wage is going to vary. Like we have sometimes people come to us and say like, well, what's the average wage? But the sky's your limit. It's just how much you're willing to put in and what you end up doing basically. So yeah. The next thing that I was going to ask you is like, how is almost a standard practical day? So from kind of like normally, obviously we do it over 3 consecutive days and all that sort of thing. So what to expect when you come in?
It's quite daunting when you're coming in because you don't know what to expect really until you do it. But what we want to do is we want to get you practicing as much and as often as we can. So your day is jam-packed with clients coming in, clients already know that it's a training school. They know that you're learning. There's no, but it is good practice for you to be able to talk to these clients, analyze their skin, do their treatments, give their aftercare in a really very real environment. So we get you the first day you come in. We'll go back over a few bits and pieces on the theory, make sure that everyone's on the same page, that they know exactly the information. Then we'll sit down and go through the consultations, why you ask the questions, whether it's a laser hair removal or a skin treatment, why are you asking these questions, getting consent, making sure they have their aftercare, and explaining the whole treatment procedure to them. So we'll sit down and do that. You'll do a bit of role play with each other, and then we'll do practice on each other for the first day. So then you can get into the feel of it and without feeling uncomfortable. Then the next day you will have your first client. They'll come in. We generally make sure that the clients are lovely, because our first priority is you. So we want you to be happy and comfortable. So we try and make sure that all the models are aware that they're coming in and they're getting a very great treatment off of an extremely great therapist, but therapist who's training and to be very nice. So they'll come in straight away from 10 o'clock, and for the next few days you'll just do practical training all day every day. So yeah, it is intense. You might not get a lunch break, so bring some food with you.
We try and make it as clinical days as possible.
Yeah, real environment. But yeah, so it's intense, but it's fun and it's enjoyable, and you're not to stress too much, because you'll get there when you get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I think when people come in sometimes for practical days, because the good thing is that we always try and keep our practical training dates with students coming in quite small, so that we can give like 100% of our attention, and obviously it just keeps it kind of nice and personal for everybody. But then also at the same time is that I think the one thing that people do is come in and they want to know everything all at once. And like, even we're still learning now, like, even though the only reason why we know as much as we know is that not only have we been in the industry for years, but we teach this all the time. And like we're still learning, we still read stuff, we still read books, we still would like listen to things. So so it's more of, you need to come in with the open mind that you accept that this is the beginning of your journey and that you're going to be learning, rather than trying to know absolutely everything at once and putting too much pressure on yourself. You need to learn to enjoy it and just enjoy learning. That's cool. So I think I've covered most things about the training. So I'm going to ask you two separate questions. So the first one is that I want to ask you the different, like the pros and cons of working in the industry in general. But the next one I'm going to do the pros and cons of like business, and we'll give some business advice and stuff. So two kind of different questions.
So the pros and cons of working in the industry is that the pros, like from straight away, it's you're making people feel better about themselves. Like they come in, they might have acne, they might have rosacea, and it really bothers them, and they think, I can't really do anything with it. They might have mustache from pigmentation and stuff that makes them really self-conscious, and then they're saying to you, can you help? And you help and you fix things. So that's one of the major things. Second thing, major advantage of the industry is it's constantly changing. It's always new treatments, always new knowledge, it's always learning, it's never boring. It's a very exciting industry, and it's becoming even more, like I remember 20 years when people had a facial, it was only a small percentage, but now, especially during the pandemic, there was a lot of people are thinking about their skin, too many Zooms, and the industry, even grew more during it. So there is that, there's the chance to travel. That's another plus. There's the flexibility with it. There's the variety of it. So you can work in many different areas. You can just specialize in just being a facialist. We'd one of our students lately, and she's going to specialize in treating people post-cancer or during cancer with just facial treatments, just normal facial massage, and specializing in that avenue in that kind of care environment, which I think is an amazing thing, and it's just completely different. So yeah, those are all the pros. The minuses are, you know, you're definitely someone's therapist, because you hear, like, you're there to, people need to offload sometimes, and you're the person there to offload to that they trust. The other thing is long hours. Like, it can be long hours and it can be on your feet all day, but that's why I don't need to go to the gym, because you're just running around constantly. But yeah, you're not sitting in front of a desk, you're not hunched over a computer. So all of those I still think are advantages in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very good industry to be in if you do want to be helping people, if you want to be constantly learning, if you want to be constantly if you want to be adapting to things, if you enjoy being busy, if you like that kind of like brain stimulation. They are long days, and like you can have like back to back, and like obviously not only is you build so multiple skills, which again is a good thing, but people can see it as whichever way. But like you're having to do treatments, and then you're having to have the skill of customer service, and then you need to be thinking of what's then ahead, and then you then need to be preparing for everything else that's going on. So you develop loads of skills, but sometimes in a long day you're doing all those skills in one day. Obviously there's the odd people that your personality doesn't so much fit with them, and there's a little bit of like all those down the line, problem solving. So it's great, it's skills, but sometimes you want to kind of drink wine after the day. So yeah, so I would say, yeah, it's a brilliant industry. I heard something the other day, I don't know whether we were talking about it or whether I heard it something, but it's a good industry. It's an industry to be in if you're okay at constantly adapting to things and adapting to changes. And like it's probably sometimes a little bit of a struggle for someone who needs like a real rigid routine. There needs to be adapting and open to anything that's going on. So yeah, no, but it's good overall. It's great. Like so yeah, you learn loads. So now that we've spoken about everything in the industry, so let's talk more business now. So let's finish off talking of business. So first, let's talk pros and cons of business, and then we'll probably delve into different things.
Yeah, so basically a lot of you now are looking into this industry because you want to be self-employed. Please be self-employed, or wanting to have your own business because you want to work, that you want to do long hours, that you want to be jack of all trades, because that's what it takes. You have to learn everything, know everything. You have to learn how to build a website, you have to learn how to do your own marketing, you have to learn, you know, there's a lot to learn, a lot to absorb. Obviously, from the plus side is the flexibility of it. You're self-employed, you pick your own holidays, you don't ask anyone for their permission for anything. There's all of that. You have something. For me, the biggest like positive of having my own business is this is my baby. This is like what I've created and what's underneath me, or what's there when I'm gone. So that's my plus. But everyone has their own pluses of being going into business. It is a lot of work, it's a lot of stressful. You have to have a budget, have to have some sort of, or else you start off slowly with it. You know, it's a lot of people, they either create this business having a big budget, or else what I would say is you keep your job and you build it up slowly alongside with it. Doing the evenings and the weekends when you're not at your job, but you still have the security of your money coming in. I would say that's the best way to start it off. Probably the easiest way of doing it is, like renting a room in a hairdresser's that they have a database, or renting a room in a dentist, they have a database that you can access, and taking it from there. Don't try and go in, well, I'm going to do a unit and I'm going to spend 100 grand setting it up, putting all the machines in there, everything like that. You can build it up slowly as well. You don't have to have that huge budget.
Another thing that I find is that it's all nice having clinics and everything now, which is great, and if people want to go down that route, that's amazing. But it is very going down the way now that people are clients are going to people now because they're very good at what they do. So it's almost like people are willing to go anywhere if they're wanting to come to you. And like people are willing to travel now for specialists. And so I think it's really important that when you wanted to go into business that you really sit down and understand exactly what you want to do, what kind of, in a way, your audience would be, and where you stand within the business. Because what people do is that they go into business and then they get very overwhelmed by actually everything else that comes with it, having to deal with clients, having to do with marketing, having to deal with accounts, having to do whatever. And if you don't, and you do need all of that to be able to build a business. So if you aren't the one for the job and you want to be working in the business as a practitioner or a therapist, if you don't want to, then you're going to have a clear understanding of the image that you want to give off and get people to do those jobs for you, because you do need to be doing that now. It is very important. And I think another thing that's really important is at the start of a business, is that, which we kind of all know now, is you need to understand that it is hard at first. And like anyone who owns a successful business that is built up from nothing has had to go to hell and back to make it work, had to stay consistent all the time to make it work, had to lose money, had to kind of make money, had to like understand, like you have to go through some brutal learning curves, but then out the other side it's amazing. Like it is worth it in the end. But at the time when you're in that, you do feel like that you're on your own, and but you have to go through that to get to where you are, and it can take a little while. And to be honest, things don't really change. It's more of like our personalities change to learn how to deal with it. So yeah, like it's very rewarding, and you definitely need to be willing to work, put the hours in, and stuff like that. But you also need to go through the tide with it as well. Yeah, so is there anything you want to cover, whatever I've just said?
I think that's it's just getting an idea of the industry and all the questions that you may have. If you do have any more questions that are different in this, we'll do another question group on the Instagram, and then we'll do another one of these to answer anything else.
Yes, we will. But yeah, that's kind of like an overview. That's kind of everything that people have been asking us recently. I hope that's cleared a few things up. At the end of the day, with this industry, you can take it wherever you want to take it. It's just where you want to take it, what work you want to put in to get there, where you want to be. Everyone's on their individual journey, and you just need to kind of focus on with what you're doing. But yeah, so yeah. I hope you're happy with everything that we've said, and keep an eye on our next one.
Thanks for listening.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.